Hey, what's going on, good people? This is Jesse Leach.
Okay, you played Rock am Ring a few days before, and now you start with a little German tour with 2 gigs in Germany.
Yeah.
And how was it to play the Rock am Ring festival?
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. I had a lot of fun. The crowd was great. Great environment, great beer, good people. Had a lot of fun.
Do you know you played on the club stage? Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
In front of how many people?
If I were to guess, I'd say maybe 5,000–6,000.
Oh.
It was packed. It was pretty packed. As far as my eyes could see to the end, there were people. That was cool.
Was it your first time at the Rock am Ring in front of such a big crowd? Or?
My first time at the Ring. What was first? It was Rock and Park, and so the Ring was the first. And that was my first European show ever.
Okay.
I've never played over here.
Was Killswitch?
Never made it over here with Killswitch. I quit before they got big.
Okay. What do you expect from the show tonight? What do you expect from Germany?
I tend not to expect anything. My hopes are that it's going to be a good show, but I feel like expectations can lead to letdowns. So I'm just going to go out there and do what I love and have fun, and hopefully that, you know, rubs off on the German people. But so far, it's been great. The reception has been great in Germany, so I think it'll be a good show either way.
How does it feel to share the stage with 2 guys from your former band?
It's great. I mean, you know, they're my buddies, so there's that. On one side, it's like they're just my friends, but I have moments when I'm on stage and I'm like, wow, here I am again with these guys. It's been 10 years, almost a decade, and I get to do it again. I feel very blessed, very happy.
Is it like 60% Killswitch, or is it just like a new band, totally new band?
Well, our hope is it's just a new band, yeah. The Killswitch thing is great, it helps us out a lot, but I think that we're definitely different in Killswitch topic-wise, sonically, and if all goes well moving forward, we're going to diversify even more. I mean, on the album we have a couple of tracks that are sort of ambient, one that's sort of acoustic. You know, I personally would love to expand and do more styles instead of just be a metal band. Me and Adam both love all kinds of music, so there's a lot of potential to spread the genre out more. You know.
Yeah, you don't look like a typical metal.
Yeah, I'm not really a metal guy.
Okay.
Honestly, I sing metal, but I'm definitely more of a, like what I listen to is reggae, punk, ska, rock and roll, stoner rock. I don't listen to a ton of... The metal I do like is the classic stuff. You know, like Entombed and At the Gates and Black Sabbath. That's the kind of stuff I like. The newer metal, doesn't really do it for me.
Okay. Do you know if the music from Times of Grace was planned from Adam in the beginning for Times of Grace, or it's interesting to me because he had also written it for Killswitch?
Yeah, I think he just wrote it without the intention of making it anything, and kind of came to the thought of maybe just put it out for himself, write a record, he'll sing on it, and he started to work on vocals and lyrics, and I guess he felt like he just couldn't handle it, and instead of giving it to Killswitch, he felt it was important to bring me back in and work with me again, which to me was just such an honor. So it wasn't originally written for me, but once I was added onto the project. So the music wasn't originally written for me, but once I joined, you know, there was a couple of songs that he hadn't quite written that were written with my voice in mind. But it's interesting how it kind of panned out, collaboration of vocals, you know.
Do you had contact over the years? Or?
Oh yeah, I'd get drunken phone calls from him all the time on tour, just making me laugh, and then we would talk about really deep stuff, so we maintained our friendship over the years. Yeah. He'd come to see my band when he was home, and I would go see Killswitch when they were in town. So we've definitely maintained a fairly good, loose, you know, I wouldn't talk to him for months, but when he would call, it would be like we just talked yesterday. So,
so he wasn't angry that you quit?
No, him and Joel especially, within weeks of me quitting, were like, hey, how are things? How you doing? They didn't hold. No. Okay. Very gracious, forgiving guys.
Is your focus now on Times of Grace, or do you also concentrate on The Empire Shall Fall?
Empire Shall Fall, I just finished an EP before I left for tour. We haven't played out in maybe a year and a half, so it's more of a studio thing, I think, now. If I have time, we'll definitely do some shows, but Times of Grace is planning on staying busy till the end of the year. I think it's one of those things where we just have to see where it takes us. If by the end of the year things are looking good, we're still getting good offers for tours, I think all of us really want to continue doing it, but it all depends. And Joel and Adam still have Kill Switch kind of going on, so one day at a time, man, we'll see what happens.
Was it planned that Joel handles the guitar duties, or?
Not initially, no. We did have somebody else in line for it, but for family issues, he decided he couldn't do it. And my heart has always been having Joel, because he's just, number one, a great guitar player, and number two, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life. So for him being added on, it was a bonus for me, because he's a good friend of mine.
Is there a situation or a place that sticks out the most on this tour? Do you have places that you love more?
I think Rock am Ring was probably the best show of the tour so far, and for me, just like being my first European overseas tour, to see the audience react that way, and meeting fans who were literally trembling when they met me because they've been waiting for 10 years. That was huge for me. Very humbling. Just like, wow. I don't see myself that way, because I'm a fairly normal person, and that blew my mind to see people that excited to meet me.
We are fans too. We do it.
I know, it's great. It's great, man. I love that there's so much love for music over here. It's incredible.
Cool. Okay. How do you create your musical style? Have you got guides or affectations?
Big vocal inspirations for me would be Joe Cocker, Van Morrison, Joe Strummer, Mike Patton. I love vocalists who have their own style. Yeah. They might not be perfect. They might go out of key here and there, but they got soul. They have that thing that when you hear them sing, it's almost you can hear their pain, and I've always aspired to allow my emotions to come through more so than my technique, and thank God over the years I've learned the technique to maintain, to be able to do this touring thing. I always strive to let my emotions come through my voice. And I don't want to sound like anybody else, so I'm always striving to do different things and try different things with my voice.
You have a really unique voice.
That's great, that's awesome, and I'm doing my job right. That's great.
But it's untypical to name these artists for a metal shouter.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I said, I was raised in punk and hardcore and metal, but as I've grown over the years, I've just totally fallen in love with, you know, like I said, Van Morrison. Even was raised listening to that with my father, but you know, when you're young, you're like, my father's music, I don't really like that. But now, I mean, I can't get enough. I get emotional listening to Van Morrison. Isn't that funny? I know, it's funny. I love him, he's great. Joe Strummer, ever since I first heard The Clash, I was like, this guy's awesome. But for screaming, I think the guy who got me into screaming was probably Ian MacKaye from Minor Threat. When I first heard Minor Threat, I was like, I want to do that. But as I've gotten older, I've just changed styles. So I try to incorporate all of that into my vocal style.
Okay. Yeah, how do you survive the touring process? It's your first time that you are on such a big tour, but how do you survive? What do you do in the spare time?
When I have the energy to, I'm constantly writing. I'm a poet, so I always write poetry. I wake up in the middle of the night, missing home or whatever, I will start writing. I'll turn my light on. Reading books, I'm reading Anthony Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential, which is a great book. Just try to keep myself occupied, and then of course, thankfully, I'm on tour with such great guys that, you know, if I'm feeling down or vice versa, we talk, we have drinks, we get drunk together, we have fun. It's just great. We're like a family out here. So I think that's really important for touring bands, and I know a lot of bands that don't have that, and they're miserable. Okay. I don't think I could do it without these guys. And of course my wife allowing and supporting me to do this. But that's tough being away from her too.
Do you use the poetry just for the songs, or do you want to publish it?
I definitely would like to do writing on the side, and that's kind of my plan, is to get into writing. Among other things, I'd like to get back into acting. I used to do acting when I was a kid. But the Empire Shall Fall EP is, all the lyrics are poetry. I wrote a short story and just took segments out of the poems and that's the lyrics. So it's kind of a nerdy concept record, but I enjoy it. I'm a writer. I got to be who I am.
I'm shaken up nervous for the 4 songs.
That's awesome, man.
What can we expect from the show tonight?
Full-on energy, emotion, honesty, and you know, with Adam D on stage, he's gonna make people laugh. He makes jokes here and there when I'm not yapping about love and unity and all the things I believe in. So it's gonna be an interesting balance of just soul and passion, and then occasional comedy. Just how it is, man.
How long is your stage time?
I think we're on for 50 minutes, an hour. So we'll play every song except for the acoustic one. And then the last song, Adam doesn't really want to play live. So
Okay.
you'll hear most of the record tonight.
Will Adam wear a cape on
Nope,
stage?
no capes allowed. No capes. Times of Grace is different. We had a conversation early on, and I said, you know, if we're gonna do this, none of that. Please, none of that. Let's take it a little more serious.
Okay.
And no faults against Killswitch. They're a great band, but just that's not who we are.
No what?
No, what's the word? No disrespect against Killswitch. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
I just don't want that on stage next to me. I'd want to punch him if he walked by me in a cape and shorts.
Okay.
We always argue about it. He's always like, "Oh,
I want to wear the cape.
yeah." No, he does. He wears it to bed at night instead.
It's often really strange when you go on a metal concert and then a guy freaks out on stage wearing a cape and like. Yeah.
No, I gotta hand it to him though. As much as I don't want that on stage with me, I respect the fact that he did it and he stuck with it. He got hated on by so many people,
Yeah.
and just like, so what? I'm gonna do it anyway. I respect. It's punk rock right
Yeah.
there. It's tongue-in-cheek punk rock.
Okay.
Not for me, but Adam's great. He can do what he wants off stage.
How long do you grow the beard?
I think it's probably been about a year or so. I just stopped shaving, and I'm planning on continuing to stop shaving for many years to come. If I could be so lucky, I want to pay tribute to one of my favorite bands, ZZ Top, and bring it down to here.
Okay.
But we'll see. The wife likes it.
So
So
like Kerry King.
no, ZZ Top.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. Love ZZ Top.
Okay. What question was never put towards you, and what would be the answer if the question
Whoa,
would be
dude.
asked?
That's intense. I've been asked everything. I don't know. You stung me, dude. I've been asked so many weird questions in interviews.
If you could change something in the music industry, what would it be?
You have another hour or so, 2 hours, we can sit and chat about this. I honestly, my first and foremost thing is I feel like a lot of respect for the art form of music has been lost. I feel like myself and many musicians that I consider to be extremely talented are struggling to make ends meet and make a living because we're just stealing music, and there's nothing you can really do to stop that, but if I could, I'd put that back, 'cause that's where musicians used to make their money, with royalties. And now people are struggling to pay their bills, and bands are starting to fall apart, and it's all because of greed and because people don't care enough about the art form of it. That's what I would change.
What do you do to make your living? Do you only play music, or do you have a job?
Well, right now I don't have a job, but when I get home I gotta hustle. I gotta find something out. But I'm really into cooking. I do catering for friends, and eventually want to start making money doing that. I've also talked to friends about brewing beer, possibly just expanding into other art forms. Writing, another one. You got to be a hustler when you're a musician. You can't just do one thing anymore. So it should be interesting when I get off tour. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see what happens, man.
Writing poetry.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know how much that's going to pay the bills either.
Okay.
But I'm lucky to be married to a woman who has a good job.
Okay, then thanks for the interview.
Yeah, thank you.
It was an honor to meet you.
Oh, thanks, man.
And hopefully we see a lot of aggression on stage tonight.
There'll be definitely some aggression, for sure.
Ja, danke fürs Zusehen. Bis zum nächsten Mal.
Cheers.